There we go. Took it a little bit to come on, but good evening, gamers. How are we doing tonight? You got me, author Rick Bradley, and
Child Donavin.
what's your name?
I said Donavin.
Well, what's your last name?
Bradley?
Okay.
I had to think about that.
You are mine, that's for sure. Anyway, welcome everyone to R&D Gaming Level 2. Tonight we talk about Nintendo and how it practically ruled the world. Oh, and we've already got people coming in and talking. Look at that. Kathy Jackson. Hola, guys. Hello, Kathy. Good to see you here. Good. You waved. I'm proud of you. It's nice. He's polite. Look at him. It's funny. I've got my phone turned around, so every time I go hit it, you're going to see my hand. I apologize. I would turn it over, but
I
you
can
know.
do it.
That's all good. It's all good.
I'm better at it. I can.
Did you like belch that Mr. Pibb or something?
Yeah, it just did.
Be glad there's no such thing as smell-o-vision yet, guys. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, tonight we are talking about Nintendo. And I believe we all know what a Nintendo is. But for once, I thought I had one over here. You can tell that I am also prepared, as per usual. That's all right. I have a stack of them over here that I'm working on. And I got Donavin going over and grabbing it. I'm going to say he's useful.
I'm the only flexible one in the house.
I used to be flexible about 20-something years ago.
Yeah, the only flexible.
But anyway, we all remember this beaut. Yes. Oh, yes, Kathy. She knows. Our family adores Nintendo games. They grew up with and still play them. So do I, Kathy. And whenever, he wants to, he gets to play on them too.
I'm playing a computer game right now.
Yeah, he's got a PC, Mr. PC Gamer. You're using mine, though. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
But as we all remember, put the game in, put that down, press that power button. Hopefully it doesn't just flash on the screen. We have to take the game out, that whole thing. We all know. We have all been there. But yeah, 2 controller ports, reset button, power button. Once that pop your game in there. The connectors on the back for your AC. Or no, wait. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. My bad. Yep, your AC. This changes between 3 and 4. I remember those days back when we had to change between 3 and 4. He doesn't remember that, And then of course that goes from the Nintendo into your TV, or if you had RCA cables, you can even do it that way.
Did it not
have
have
your
a
red and
1
yellow?
and 2? Did it not have a 1 and 2?
No, back in the day, we would change between channels 3 and 4 to play games. Yeah, it wasn't just switch over to HDMI or anything like that. It was channels 3 or 4.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the Stone Age back in the day.
The song, or the album, or the
You're all right, buddy.
people who made the song.
Kathy knows she had to blow on the cartridges to get them to work. That you did. I don't know how many times I think I got myself cross-eyed just.
Hey, Dad, don't look.
Hyperventilate, What?
Don't look. Just.
I'm going to do this, boy. But anyway, so yes, tonight we're going to talk about the company that made that system, along with a bunch of other lovely ones. You got the Super Nintendo. This one has something going on with it, which I'm going to get into and fix at some point in time. But not only was there the Super Nintendo, you had the Super Famicom over in Japan. This was the Super Nintendo over there. Got a couple games for it. Can't read them at all, but it's still a really cool thing to have.
There's Google Translate.
Yes, you want to play Google Translate while you're trying to play Final Fantasy V? No. It's not going to work out very well that way.
Okay, fine. Remember what they all say. All right.
What do they all say?
What do they all say?
I don't know. He said, remember what they all say.
Yeah, I don't.
You need to remember what they all say, too.
I have not played it in forever.
It has been a while since I played the English version of Final Fantasy V. I've got it somewhere. Oh, wait, this Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay. I thought maybe I had it, like, literally behind my laptop here, but nope. All right. So Nintendo started out, how long ago, Donavin? You remember? I told you about that. They start early 1900s.
123 years.
Close, like 133 years ago. Well, 132 until we reach September 23rd.
I'll be 18 then.
Yeah. September 23rd in 1889 is when Nintendo first opened its doors. Even video games back then. I mean, what do you do? But no, instead of making video games, they made a card game. I believe called Hanafuda. I am totally mangling it. I know I am. But hey, I'm from the Midwest. I'm English. Oh, I should say American. We're going to screw up the English language and every other language. That's what we're here for. But
I'm part English.
oh boy, I love you, son. Anyway, so these cards, they were smaller than our normal playing deck of cards, and they were a lot thicker, so they're a lot more sturdy. They had pictures of flowers, animals, different man-made objects. One had a picture of a human, and they would play many different games called, one was what, Go. We got notes. I'm going to look. So yeah, you did. Donovan wrote down some notes. I was proud of him. Some games like called Go Stop, Koi Koi, and Hachi Hachi. They weren't very original with, back and forth on the game, on the names, I guess, but that's all right. We still love Japan. Kathy Jackson says, hey, Brian Rodman. Oh, do we have a Mr. Brian Rodman in the house? If we do, you need to tell them about a certain comic book that you got coming out. I think it's called The Nebulizer 2. Go ahead. Oh, there he is. Hey there, folks. Can't stay long, but I wanted to say hi. Hey, Brian, how's it going? Like I said, drop your link down for your Kickstarter, bud. Nebulizer 2, because it ain't easy being wheezy. Yeah, a asthmatic and his robot-controlled suit with a feisty AI is fighting allergen demons. I mean, we all know how that feels. We all have our personal allergen or mutants, not demons, but they feel like demons.
I hate spring.
Yeah, spring's not fun. Surprised you guys haven't heard me just, everything, but that's just yucky. But go check his Kickstarter right now. Back it. You can get issue 1 of the Nebulizer along with issue 2. And I've got issue 1. I loved it. I'm actually going to put it in a book later on. It's going to be the book. The premise is going to be a kid gets sucked into a video game world, and a lot of his favorite books are going to be in it. And Nebulizer is one of them. And there we go. He's got it. Thanks, my dude. You're welcome, my dude. So tell Luna not to kill me, that I still love her, okay? But Nebulizer number 2 is about a chronic asthmatic and his feisty AI-controlled nebulizer suit as they fight through a post-apocalyptic world filled with allergen mutants. Go to that address, bit.ly/mighthead. Go back it. I've already backed it. You need to back it too. And whenever my book comes out with a nebulizer in it, you're going to not want to get too behind. You're going to want to be like, oh, I know what's going on with this thing. So, and Brian's just a great writer and a great artist anyway. Actually, funny enough, I have his book right here. Another book of his that he just came out with. Memoirs of an Angel, number 8. Look at that. That is some good art right there. I don't care what anyone says. The ring light just gets the halo right over the angel. But it's like Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. Two great things to go great together, if you ask me. Look at that little sketch card he's got in the back of that for me. That just looks awesome. I don't care what anyone says. Am I wrong? There you go. You can get a good look at it now.
Yeah.
I got some talented friends. I got some. And to kind of go along with our Nintendo theme,
You showed this last time.
I know, but I'm going to show it again. Castle of Endless Night. If that doesn't bring Castlevania vibes vibes to you, I don't know what does. Now look, it's got the official Rising Tide seal. I don't know, maybe you could sweet talk him into getting some more of those. But you get really cool things when you practice projects. That's all I'm saying. Oh, I'm too kind. You're too kind, sir. And you're very welcome. So go back it. I don't mind if you take a moment for my show to go back it. It's going to be recorded. You can catch the 10 minutes you leave. It's all good. Alrighty. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Nintendo was making Hanafuda cards. Yes. And it would play multiple games like Don't Stop, Koi Koi, and Hachi Hachi. Well, they were still having some financial issues coming out of the gate because these cards weren't kind of like a niche market. And Japan was, cracking down on gambling. Of course, the Yakuza, they loved the gambling. You all know the Yakuza. I ain't going to say anything bad about them. I don't want ninjas coming out anywhere, and I don't want that happening.
That's when they are addict.
Yeah, the ninjas are in the attic.
Yeah.
That would suck.
It was
But anyway, so they were still able to get by, still able to make money. And in the 1960s, they decided to, oh no, it was mid-1900s. It was in the 60s yet. My apologies. I kind of skipped over a note. What can I say? They, yeah, the notes she wrote. I know. Why don't you tell me what's on the notes then?
Do you think I remember what the half cipher
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Right?
Anyway, so they started having the cards, instead of just having like random flowers or animals, they started licensing out different characters, like even Disney characters. So they would have these Hanafuda cards with Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Pluto. I found out Walt Disney hated Goofy.
I love Goofy.
I know, right? Oh, yeah, Goofy's fine. Can't really do the sound very well with my nose, but
We're getting copyrighted now.
Oh, gosh, that's all right. That's right, I better be careful. If Eric Hawkins hears that, he might report back to the mouse. I think I told you about that. Anyway, so, you know what? Here, I'm just going to hold these notes right here. It's like I'm reading them. Like I'm a teacher. Horrible teacher, I'll be honest. But anyway, so they did that. And that definitely helped because, everyone loves Mickey Mouse, so people were buying more of those. And in the 1960s, they expanded into a bunch of different toys, including some designs by, at the moment, he was a janitor, but Gunpei Yokoi. I think I said his name right. If not, sir, I apologize.
It's not here.
Hey, you don't speak ill of the dead. And he passed away in 97. This was the guy that gave us the Game & Watch handheld system, which didn't do great over in the United States, but in Japan, sold a ton. He also came up with the original designs for the Game Boy. So without the Game Boy, we wouldn't have the 3DS that we got here. This beautiful thing. It evolved into 2 screens, and one of them's 3D. But yeah, so we have a lot to thank for him.
You got something in my eye.
You all right there, buddy?
I got something in my eye.
All right, I'll get your finger out of it. And he also invented the D-pad. Remember the Atari? You remember Atari just had a joystick and one button? Everyone remember that? The Atari?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, you've seen my Atari before. You played the Atari.
I don't remember that.
Man, it's been that long. I'll have to plug that thing back up and show him. Then he can see, what a real difficult game is. But all it had in the Atari was a joystick and one button. Yokoi, he got it down to the cross pad. So we have their D-pad, up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Oh, Konami code. Just kind of comes out. But he also went on to produce games like Metroid and Kid Icarus, 2 of your favorites.
About to beat Metroid Dread. The boss is really hard, man. Kind of giving up on it.
Dude, Metroid Dread is a hard one. That's another thing I love about Nintendo. Their first-party games are still going on. I mean,
they're still difficult, not like Pokemon.
you got a beef with Pokemon?
Make the games too easy.
Well, they're trying to get kids into it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors thing.
Yeah.
You know.
But sometimes you don't have to use rock servers. Oh, my charm start is level 60. Easy to one shot your rock Pokemon.
Someone got upset in versus, didn't they?
I didn't use versus. I didn't do versus.
Ah.
Actually, I did because I have a level 99 Rayquaza. It's shiny.
Yeah. And that was another thing that Nintendo did later on, was got partners with the Pokemon Company and HAL Laboratories. Because that way, Nintendo's the only one that has Pokemon. You don't see Pokemon on PlayStation or Xbox. So I mean, Nintendo's first game or first party games were just amazing. Case in point, The Legend of Zelda, one of the greatest games ever made.
Get it? It's
Fight me.
case.
Actually, wasn't trying to be punny for once. But, I mean, they still have Legend of Zelda games coming out to this day. Working on Breath of the Wild, too. That's what I like about Nintendo. Their longevity. They're definitely here. And they're going to stay, I think. Let's see, what else have we written down here?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. In the 1980s, Nintendo became one of the most prominent figures in the video game industries. You know how that started out? Believe I'm going to tell you. Oh.
It was because of Donkey Kong?
That's right, Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong helped him out with that. Let's see here. And for that, we have to go back to this young boy who lived in Japan, didn't have a TV, didn't have video games. They weren't invented yet. And if he knew anything about Nintendo, it's only that they made these cards with pretty pictures on them. But he would explore around his home, Kyoto, Japan. He had, let's see here, he had a cave. Oh my gosh, where was the cave at again? Oh yeah, well, the caves and waterfalls of Ruri Canyon, and there's ruins of a sprawling 350-year-old castle. That young boy who loved to explore those, who would get lost forever, make up his own stories. He would even, he loved to draw. He was a big artist. His mom encouraged him to draw, but his dad, who was a school teacher, wanted him to keep his nose to the grindstone and keep working and become a teacher like him. And this young man, Shigeru Miyamoto, who, as we all know, is now the face of Nintendo.
Besides Mario.
But he's Mario's dad, basically. Yeah. And he first showed up, and he started working for Nintendo, and he was drawing the cards, putting pictures on the cards. And the president of Nintendo at the time, Yamauchi, oh gosh, what was his surname? I don't know, I apologize. I guess I could cover that the original man who made it, Fusajiro Yamachi, he didn't have a son to take over the company. And, in Japan, they pass it down to, family and everything. They don't just give it to whoever. So he adopted a son-in-law, and his son-in-law took his daughter's name. So then he became a Yamachi, and he took over. So then went from first one to Sekiro Kaneda, who took the last name Yamachi. And he also didn't have a son, so he had to adopt his son-in-law. I know, it's funny. But hey, they made it work. But anyway, the Yamachi at the time told Miyamoto, asked him, was like, do you like video games? And Miyamoto was like, yeah. He talked about Pong, Breakout, a lot of great hits from Atari. And, you know, Yamachi is like, all right, we have a game called Radar Scope that we have in the arcade that's not done well. In fact, Radar Scope was just horrible. It was not making much money. It was doing abysmal in the market. And so he asked if he could make it better. Miyamoto, of course, was like, hey, I'll try this challenge out. And he didn't like what radar scope was. He didn't like that it was just a bunch of blips and beeps. And like, you can't tell a story with that. Yeah, it's cool, you know, in your imagination, you're blowing things up. But to him, he was like, you can't do anything with that. That's nothing. So he came up with a story of a gorilla who captures a woman, and Jumpman, that's what he was called. He actually wanted to call him Mr. Video first, but they had the name Jumpman for Donkey Kong. Created Donkey Kong.
Wasn't Pauline the first?
Pauline was the name of the woman, and Donkey Kong, of course, was the name of the ape that took her. And one thing I love about that was they got sued for making Donkey Kong games.
For the Kong.
Universal Studios were suing them because of King Kong, because Universal had the King Kong movies. Well, they oh, and we got Mr. Gomon here, brother of Puckman. Good old Puckman. That's another name for Pac-Man. They were actually going to go with that, but then they didn't want people erasing the P into an F and naming it something different. Yeah, so that's why Pac-Man got named Pac-Man.
Oh, waka waka.
Yeah. Universal had King Kong, so they went to sue Nintendo and first tried to they tried to intimidate this little, at the time, compared to what they are now, they were a little company just starting off in video games because all they had was Donkey Kong, which no one in Nintendo had any faith in, except Yamachi and, of course, Miyamoto. But Universal sued Nintendo, was telling them, we're going to take you for everything you're worth. That is our property. He is way too much like King Kong. I mean, come on. Giant ape, steals a woman. Okay. In the movie, King Kong climbs up a building. Donkey Kong's up a bunch of girders, so a half-finished building. Yeah. I still don't remember any flaming barrels King Kong threw. But, in fact, man, isn't very funny. True. It's not as vulgar either. But, so anyway, so they're in court, because Nintendo wasn't backing down. Nintendo's like, no, this is, I mean, that was their cash cow. That was getting Nintendo into the big leagues. So Nintendo wasn't backing down or anything. And Universal was kind of confused. They're like, okay, normally they just, because they've sued other people over it. It's like, normally they would just, people back down and we get settled out of court, but okay. Come to find out, Universal didn't even have the rights to King Kong anymore. Yeah. So all the money that they got paid from their previous lawsuits, they had to pay back to the people that they sued. And Nintendo, in my mind's eye, granted, it probably wasn't as, you know, like, or as this, they were probably sitting there going, you know what I mean? Nah. Flipping on the bird, I would have. But, so, they replaced Radar Scope with Donkey Kong. And no one thought Donkey Kong would work. They're like, this is stupid. It's some big freaking ape. And you got some little guy jumping over barrels. Who's going to want to play that? Everyone. Exactly. That game made so much money. I think I got the numbers here somewhere.
Somewhere. I mean, yeah. Somewhere means nowhere.
Funny enough, he actually wanted to do a Popeye game that was like Donkey Kong instead of Donkey Kong. But they had a contract for Popeye that was in the works. It wasn't going to be done yet. So he was like, all right, I'll make my own stuff up. But yeah, everyone's like, this is stupid. This ain't going to work. Donkey Kong, in his first year, made $180 million for Nintendo. 100. And think about it. That's like late 70s, early 80s. That would be like crazy. Well, I ain't going to say that comment, Mr. Gomont. This is family-ish. Except whenever I'm doing a game review. Then, yeah, I'll probably be cursing up a storm. But it's like, yeah. Most coin-operated games, they weren't in a place for very long. But Donkey Kong even stayed after another year. Its second year, it was still making $100 million. And that's quarters. Can you imagine how many quarters you need for that?
Don't try to dive in that.
Yeah, don't try to do the Uncle Scrooge thing. And don't get me wrong, Miss Pac-Man was definitely a contender in that. She was still making Namco a bunch of money. But thanks to Donkey Kong, Miyamoto became basically a star. So I'm saying, they put Miyamoto as the face of Nintendo. Because he was an adult, but he was so childlike. I mean, seriously, you see pictures of this man smiling, and you're just like, he is enjoying everything that's going on right now.
It's the artist in him.
Yeah, I mean, he would, even though he's an adult, he would look at things with a childlike quality, and I think that's what helped him make great video games, because kids were playing them. And heck, to this day, I still love playing the first Super Mario Brothers. Donkey Kong's a blast. Legend of Zelda.
I hate losing to them.
No one likes losing to video games. It's okay.
Unless they have funny things for you losing. Then it's great, and then you lose, and then you waste time losing, and then you never beat the game.
Right? What funny things are you talking about?
There's this Flash game. There's the first Flash game. It was Breaking the Bank. It was pretty much the stick man trying to break in the bank, and there'd be Flash animations.
Mm-hmm.
You choose an option. You either pretty much die or get in. And some of them were funny, like a teleporter. When he teleports into the bank wall, of course, it gets stuck.
Okay, I mean, that's a funny way to die. I like that.
Doesn't even die instantly. He has to starve there.
Oh, and my brother from another mother, Jeremy Cook. What is your opinion on their worst system, the early attempt at a home VR setup? You wouldn't be talking about the Virtual Boy, would you? I believe you are. That nice big red hunk of plastic that you had to sit on a table and sit like this to play and pretty much gave you migraines. That is one of Gunpei Yoki's not as well things he came up with. But that's one thing I love about Nintendo at the same time, is they are willing to push innovation. They're willing to try something different.
Even if it's,
even if it doesn't go over very well. Virtual Boy, I think its entire library is 13 games? And it had a decent 3D effect when you were looking at it, but it was all red. Yeah. It was red and black. Those were the colors that you got. And I think they had a Mario Tennis game, which was all right. You see the ball coming at you and you hit it. I mean, stuff like that. They had a boxing game, which I don't think anyone knew how to play. They did have a Wario game that was actually pretty good, from what I've seen. They had this flight simulator game where you play where you get the this ship that goes around, and it was horrible because the graphics were like this red grid, wire grid, and you didn't know if you were going through something or if you're going to hit a wall or whatever, and that gave you headaches. I was the only one I tried out in a store in Evansville whenever they had it on display, and I tried it out, and after I finished, I had the worst headache I've ever had. Yeah.
I just got the Oculus, and I can just play whatever.
Yeah, they've come a long way with the Oculus. But I mean, that's another thing, like I said, I love about Nintendo. They're willing to innovate. They're willing to try something new. No one thought the Wii was going to do anything good.
That's one of my favorite systems.
Yeah. People are like, the Wii? What the heck is this? Oh, hold on here. 23, you think, okay, you got most of them complete in the box. 2 with the Virtual Boy. Both have the wonky, both have a left side going out. Man, I was about to say, hey, Gomont, talk to me about that Virtual Boy. Because the collector in me wants it. I don't think I'll ever really sit it up and play it.
Set it up, not sit it up.
I speak English good.
No.
Not today. But, yeah, they didn't have, they had Waterworld, which, I don't think you've seen that movie. The premise of the movie is the world pretty much.
It's water.
The ice caps have melted, and there's no land or anything. Kevin Costner plays this half fish guy. Yeah. It was not a good movie.
It's not.
No, it was not a good movie. And the game was hilarious because the water's black and everything else is red as you're trying to go around and shoot people. It's horrible. They tried. Gomon says, surprisingly, one side being out, no headache. I'm not surprised. Yeah, one of your eyes is resting, so it's okay. And Jeremy agrees with you, Donavin. Most definitely, home VR has come a long way with the Oculus. That it has.
Love the Oculus.
Playing Resident Evil 4 on there, which Resident Evil 4 came out first exclusive to the GameCube. Yeah. And then, of course, after it ran its course with the GameCube, it went to everything else. And you got it on the Oculus, which Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus, if you have an Oculus, get that game. It's cool.
I've beaten it 3 times. Nope, 2. Haven't been hard mode yet. I'm close. But
You'll get there.
having the infinite rocket launcher is really fun.
Well, that's just cheating. But fun.
Once you beat the game, okay, you beat the game, you get 1,000,000 points. Oh my god, that took so long. That took half the game. You finally get it, and you're like, oh, it feels so powerful.
And dude, who doesn't like infinite rocket launchers? And Jason mocked us with his laughter. Right back at you, sir. But so yeah, Donkey Kong made him a butt ton of money. No one was expecting it, so Miyamoto was the star child. Pretty much whatever he wanted to do. He had people working under him, working on games. He had so many games going on, they take about half a year to make. But that's when he came up with Super Mario Brothers, and Legend of Zelda, and a bunch of other things.
And now there's so many more of those same games. They've gotten better and better.
Oh yeah.
Started a whole line.
Yeah, he has definitely started a bunch of legacies, you could say.
Who first did Luigi's Mansion?
I don't know who made Luigi's Mansion. I mean, it's on Nintendo GameCube, of course, but I don't know if Miyamoto had anything to do with that one or not. Are you going to look it up here? All right, there you go. Oob.
I hate you.
LUI. Not Leages. Man, these public school systems.
Shut up. They don't teach you how to spell Luigi. Alright, you can butcher another name.
Tadashi Sugiyama. Okay. But Shigeru Miyamoto was a producer on that.
Of course.
Yeah. So he was like, okay, no, Luigi's not scared enough. Change it. PlayStation VR playing Resident Evil 7. Nope.
I want to do that.
Is that too scary for you, buddy?
I want to do that.
Girlfriend trying to kill you in the first 30 minutes, took it off.
I want to do that. I want to play that game.
I know, we got to get another VR set for the PlayStation 4.
That'd be so fun.
And what I want to do also with this channel, not only talk about video game stuff and maybe throw some education if people like it. If you like it, let me know. If not, that's cool. We would definitely change things around. But what I do want to do is get the equipment to capture games and upload those on the YouTube and Facebook. And I want to make a whole playlist of this little guy screaming his head off when he gets scared. I tell you what, it's one of the funniest things in the world. I might actually, take a video and while he's in there playing on his VR, jump in his room and scare him so you guys can all hear the scream. Dude, I told you that would be comedy gold and our YouTube would just boom like crazy.
Oh. Your caps locks look weird, okay?
It's a Mac, I know. If it's green, it's on. If it's just white, it's not.
My keyboard has a word, the blue dot right there. Yeah, it's on.
Well, Windows is different.
It's not even a Windows keyboard.
And Jason says, stabbed me in the hand, I was done. Yeah, that was pretty freaky at the beginning. I am not going to lie. And then El Gato. Yes.
What?
Huh?
What?
El Gato.
What's that?
Didn't you play it? You played the Resident Evil 7, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've beaten that and Village yet, and I haven't got to beat either one of them. But anyway, it's neither here nor there right now.
So what happens in Village?
Sheesh.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not evil. Like,
Oh, anyway.
back on track.
But, so, they then decided to go into the home console business. They're like, hey, we got this arcade thing down pat now. Let's try some home console games. Oh, the Elgato capture device. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Don't worry, Jeremy. I will make sure he plays this. He wants to see you play some of the monstrously hard games of our youth. Battletoads comes to mind. And yeah, he was looking over here at this game too.
Nope.
Legend of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. I let him try this one out because he likes Zelda a lot. So I was like, all right, here's the, you can say the bastard child of Legend of Zelda. People don't like it. They like it more than the ones on the CDI, which the ones on the CDI were just horrible.
None of that game.
Was not good.
No more of that game.
But anyway, I don't get why people don't like it. I mean, yeah, it's hard. But in all honesty, I think as a Zelda game, it is still good. It's got amazing music.
Music's nice.
The music is great.
I like the music.
Yes, definitely the gameplay is completely different from the first Zelda. The first Zelda was a top-down adventure, and this one's a side-scroller.
I hate the knights.
You get experience points in here. Yeah, the knights are a pain in the butt.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. That was loud.
But there's some strategy to it. You got to hit high or low. You know, keep your shield up whichever way. Don't get hit. So, great for playing games online. All right, I'll have to check that out, Jason. Thanks, bud. And Battletoads for sure. Another vote for Battletoads. Uh-huh.
Stop.
And Gomont knows Dark Link. It's the final bad guy. Adventure of Link.
Final boss.
He knows all your moves and everything, so.
Oh, I had a feeling it's Dark Link.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a,
Oh, he's more of a pain in the butt than the one in Ocarina of Time.
He was in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
I did beat Ocarina of Time. He was in Ocarina of Time.
There you go.
I remember.
It clicked. It clicked. But, so Nintendo decided to go into the home console business. The only problem with that, Atari had already ruined it for everyone in the United States. The Famicom was selling well in Japan, but they wanted to get that American market. But American retailers were not touching video game consoles. E.T. Remember I told you the story about E.T.? Game based on a movie. The guy had very little time. One person working on the game. Very little time to get it done. And what he made was just...
One person.
Yeah, I mean, for what he did, all right, it's good. It's good. But it came out after the movie did. I think like a year or so after the movie. People bought it, and that game was the most returned game ever. Yeah, Atari lost its rear end on it. That, and it had been losing its rear end over time because Nolan Bushnell kind of ran it like a party zone. Nolan Bushnell, he made Atari. And Chuck E. Cheese, funny enough. Yeah. He was a great hype man. And he had a mind for business, but he got over his head, I think, with that. So anyway, there we go. Gomont knows what we're talking about. ET equals extremely terrible.
What?
My copy's in that somewhere. You don't have to get it out, son. It's all right. People know who ET is. Oh, Jeremy with the questions. Yes, everyone, please ask questions. Nintendo related or any gaming related. We're good with it. Along with the Zelda series, I remember you being a big Simon Belmont fan. What is your favorite game from the Castlevania ones? Ooh. Does it have to just be the ones on the Nintendo? Because if it's that, then I'd have to go for the first Castlevania, because that game was just great. It was like the first one of its time. We're like, oh my gosh, we're playing a horror game. And this is kind of, ooh. Okay, it was the 80s. We didn't have a lot of, we didn't have Resident Evil back then, okay? And Silent Hill with cats scaring you outside my window. Or scaring me, I should say.
Yeah, I was dead back then.
But yes, the first Castlevania was awesome. But my favorite all-time Castlevania game would have to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night. A close second, Super Castlevania on the Super Nintendo.
That's super.
Yeah. Everything on Super Nintendo was super something. I'm surprised it wasn't Super Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. Or Link to the Super. I don't know. But it wasn't.
Link speaks.
No, Link's. Yeah. But I would have to say those would be my favorites on that. Thank you, good sir, for that question. And my friend Vera, hey, she likes that shirt.
It's a good shirt.
She's a little bit of a Pink Floyd fan. I can't stretch my arms that wide. Yeah. Oh look, I got condor arms. But yes, we love Pink Floyd around here. We don't need no education. Yes, we do. That was a double negative. I love that song, but I always said that with it. But anyway, so Nintendo, to get around that, that's why they called it the Nintendo Entertainment System. Nothing about video games on here at all. No gaming system, nothing like that. And those weren't games. Those were cartridges. Video cartridges. So they kind of, left the game out of, talking about it. And I remember also reading that a lot of stores would be like, okay, if I don't sell these, then, I'm out of money. Nintendo's like, no. If you don't sell all of these systems, what you don't sell, we'll buy back. It was a win-win for the stores. The retailers were like, all right, let's do this. We'll try it out. And lo and behold, the Nintendo sold a lot. I mean, they sold out. You couldn't get them. Kind of like today, except they only made a ton of them and they sold out because they were that popular.
You have a bunch now.
Yeah, I know. I've got, 11 or 12 sitting here in the garage.
Hogging all the Nintendo.
Yes, I'm hogging all the Nintendos. It's like even, $200 for it. People paid for it. But also, Nintendo was smart. They put Super Mario Brothers in with it. They came out with a lot of different sets also.
What do you mean sets?
Like, they had the action set, which would have Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt with the gun, with the light gun. 2 controllers. 2 players on Mario. Might as well have 2 controllers.
For just $200?
Yeah, $200. Huh. And there's a green. It's a perfect shirt. We love it.
It's also
Except there were no bots back then. Exactly, Jason. Exactly. It wasn't one of those like, oh, I'm going to hit a switch and buy every PS5 in a 500-mile radius around me. That's why I haven't got a PS5 yet. But that's a rant for another day. Yeah, they packaged games with it, multiple controllers. That gentleman right there was on his own pack. Actually, grab him and bring him down.
Like one of my favorite Smash Bros. Characters.
That's all right. Those Super Nintendo games are durable. They even had this little guy, Rob the Robot. If you didn't have friends to play with, he would play 2 games with you. 2 games. Gyro White and Stack Up. Those were your favorites, weren't they? Mm-hmm. And he would move so slow. But, hey, it was pretty darn innovative at that time, let's be honest. And Jeremy Cook, I think I only knew one person who had that setup that came with the robot when it came out. I don't think I really knew anyone with the robot.
Besides us now.
Well, yeah. I bought that for myself for my birthday a few years ago. Came in at the pawn shop I was working at, and I'm just like, okay, this sucker's going home with me. Yeah. I've got his.
Really buy it?
Yeah. And I got the gyros for him and everything.
Where?
They're probably in a box somewhere. Yeah.
I do love Rob on Smash Bros.
Yeah, Super Smash Brothers. Rob was evil. And let's not forget all the fun attachments they came out with. The NES Advantage. If you wanted that joystick feeling from the arcades, they got you covered. This thing is kind of heavy too. Man, I could beat you with it.
That's my turn.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of heft to it, more than you think. See, Jason Gowan says, Rodney Markham was the only person I knew with it when I was a kid. Like I said, yeah, the robot, you didn't find that hardly anywhere with people. That one was on the more expensive side. Well, Rodney and Toby.
Robotic operation. Oh, robotic operating buddy. There we go.
He's your buddy.
He's my buddy. I love him.
I'm not your pal, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
Not your friend, guy.
I'm not your guy, buddy.
Anyway. So, yeah. That's what Nintendo did. They basically snuck video games into us. And I couldn't be happier. That was great. And then I'm scrolling. I apologize. Then in 1986, they came out with the Game Boy. And then originally Nintendo wanted to package Super Mario Brothers with the Game Boy. The Super Mario World was pretty fun on there. It was definitely different. Mario got in the ship and was like shooting stuff with it. Yeah. I hated though whenever you had the fire flower, you would shoot one fireball and it bounced all over the screen. It was weird. It's like you threw a rock. But it was still a fun game. And they wanted to package that with it. But of course, in Russia, some fun things were afoot. Let's see here. Alexei Pajitnov. Alexei, if I messed up your name, I apologize. Born in Moscow. Loved taking computer code apart, finding out, what makes it tick. And created his own video game that he shared with his coworkers. It's just a simple little game. You move these shapes around, they fall, you put them in lines, and they disappear. Yes. I think we all know what that is. Good old Tetris. I don't know about you, but I sunk many an hour into Tetris. Jeremy says, I had the Advantage in the Max controllers. Max had that weird red disc rather than the D-pad. I think I had one of those once. The turbo buttons on it were pretty nifty though. That was always fun. I hated when they tried to do a slow-mo effect on the Nintendo. Yeah, you want to know what the slow-mo effect was? You hit slow-mo, and the game just paused. Pause, unpause, pause, unpause. Just paused off and on. Yeah. So it was okay for like Mario, except you'd have to hear and watch Mario kind of move. But it still achieved a slow-mo effect on some games.
It's just volume down.
Yeah. But other games where you would press start and go to a menu, it was not good. It was not good. See, even Jason Gilmont agrees. It was so bad. The Advantage was solid, though. Yes, it was. The Advantage was a great controller they came out with. That's once again, I know I'm getting off track with Tetris, but that's okay. Like I said, Nintendo didn't mind. They love to innovate. They actually had, Jason will know about this, I bet. They actually had an attachment that was for knitting. Your Nintendo could knit you a blanket.
Did it? Really?
Yeah, it would. They never sold it, though, so it never got distributed. So if you have one of those, they're not worth much. You can just give it to me. I'll take it off your hands.
You're a bad liar.
I know, I'm horrible. But, yeah, Jason knows. It's a sewing machine for your NES. They tried so many things with that. It was crazy. For the Game Boy, they was going to do a thing for dentist office. A kid, was nervous about going to the dentist. They can have the mask over. Oh, see? Jason, Was it for Game Boy? I could have swore it was also for the main system. Now, the Game Boy, they had so many things for. Oh, yes. Yes, and the piano. You could play piano on Nintendo. That was before the keytar for Rock Band came out. I have the keytar somewhere. I have no idea where. That thing was a blast.
The guitar with keys on it?
Yeah. Feel like I'm in the 80s, like Duran Duran, just hitting those keys. It was funny. But they had something for kids when they go to the dentist, put a mask over their head to play in a game. The higher score they get, the more the gas comes in, and the laughing gas comes in, and they're just, okay, take my teeth out. Yeah. So you actually had a video game system that gassed people. It's just, I love it. It's hilarious. Kane, hey buddy, how are you doing? Glad to see you here. Yeah, you can make fun of Donavin if you want. I've been doing it all day. He's one of your best friends, so you know he's going to. And Jason says, or ride a bike. I mean, you can do anything with a Nintendo, I swear. They had a radio, an FM AM radio thing you put in your Game Boy. They had a sonar for when you were fishing.
Does it work well?
From what I heard, it worked well. They had everything they could make for the Game Boy, I swear. I think they had one where you can launch a rocket with it, but, I might be wrong.
That explains a lot of things.
And Kane's like, you know it. See, that's what friends are for. That's why they love you. But anyway.
Does it pick on me?
Yep, that's what friends do. Yeah. So, Alexei Pajitnov was raised in Soviet era Moscow, where, of course, common ownership. So, he even said that it would be illegal for him to sell it, even if he did sell Tetris. But still, he didn't get paid for Tetris for a good long time. People were ripping off left and right. I mean, it was like exploding out of Russia, going over to Europe and everywhere. People were playing it on their computers. It hadn't been, and some people would say, oh yeah, we got a license for it. They didn't. So people were making money off his invention, which he was okay with it. That's just how cool of a guy he was. He was just happy it was bringing, happiness to everyone.
That's rare.
Yeah, that is rare. It's very rare. And so the Nintendo, actually the president of Nintendo at the time, let's see here. All right, there was a gentleman by the name of Hank Rogers. He actually used to play Go with Hanafuda cards. So he started working for Nintendo, and he tried to. He had a company called Bulletproof Software that was the world's largest producer of Go games, and he tried to convince Nintendo to license Go with him. But he first reached a brick wall in the form of one Hiroshi Yamanashi. So the Yamauchi, I am so butchering these. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, what in the world? There we go. I'm going, especially in the 80s. Oh, yeah. Especially in the 80s. So, anyway. I'm not going to call him Mr. Rogers. Hank Rogers found out that Mr. Yamauchi played Go, so Yamauchi was obsessed by Go. Like, he was really, really good at it. So was Rogers. So he's like, all right, I'll go against him. Maybe if I beat him, he'll, take me on the licensing. But, yeah, Yamauchi won, of course. It was great. But he still weren't up to Rogers, and they were talking about business and whatnot. And, Yamauchi was like, you need programmers for this? Rogers like, nope. I got money to make it. I just need programmers. So they got going. I guess Go was made, and people loved it. I know I'm still trying to figure out what Go exactly is. What can I say? I'm horrible. All right. And Jeremy says Sega had a knockoff game named Columns, and Nintendo ripped it off with Dr. Mario too. Oh yeah, man! So many games can go back to Tetris, Candy Crush. I mean, matching something, and getting it off the board.
This whole time we've been doing this, I've been having the Dr. Mario theme stuck in my head.
Oh yeah. That was a great thing about that, man. That game was great with the catchy music. It was fun. All right.
He's a slow reader. I'm sorry.
I say it's been a long day. But anyway, Rogers caught wind of Tetris and wanted to bring that over to Nintendo. Hence the reason I'm talking about Rogers and getting good with Nintendo. So he felt like he can go over there and talk to the Russians and everyone and be like, hey, how about we get a distribution deal for Tetris? He wasn't going to believe all these other people that said they had a deal for it. He wanted to go straight to the source. Which, hey, that's nice of him. What can I say? But he, Nintendo was still like, they don't know if they wanted to do that because they had Mario. It's like, all the boys already love Mario. They're going to play Mario. Rogers counterback though said, if you want boys to play, include Mario. If you want everyone to play, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, include Tetris with the Game Boy. And as we all know, Tetris was the packaged game with the Game Boy, and everyone fell in love with that game. I seriously did see grandmas playing Tetris. Everyone just got with Tetris. It was Tetris fever, man. Surprised they haven't made a movie about it. Please don't. Please don't, Hollywood. Don't make a movie based on Tetris. That would be horrible. But finally, they sent Rogers over to Russia to talk. And Rogers took the approach talking to Pachetov, not as, a client or someone he's trying to buy something from, but pretty much like a friend, like a co-creator. Because they both love code, they both love making games, they both loved games. So after, I think he went over to his house and they sat back, drank cognac, and
What's cognac?
it's an alcohol.
Oh,
Not like cologne or anything. A bad one might taste like cologne.
Yeah. I love my cologne.
Right. But no, they went back, sipped on some cognac, and started talking. And they became friends. And so Rogers went to talk with the big name Russian people, pretty much like the Russian government, you could say, because it was all, the whole ownership thing. Yeah. Well, anyway, they talked. There was a lot of screaming and such done by the Russians because they weren't understanding everything that was going on. And he's like, no, we're not trying to steal it. But the Russians also wanted them to buy carts and produce the carts in Russia and buy the game carts from Russia, not just for Tetris, but for all of other Nintendo games. And Nintendo's like, no. We're not doing that. We're going to use our distributors making our games like we have been. We're just going to give you money. Take the money for the game. They finally hammered out details, and the Game Boy was released on, or the Tetris was released on the Game Boy. And finally, Alexiv, finally got paid for Tetris after about, 2-3 decades. I mean, because he made it before 86. He made it a long time ago. But finally, whenever it came out on Nintendo, Rogers made sure he got his money. And Alexiv, he moved over to the U.S., so now he doesn't have to worry about the whole common ownership thing. So yeah, he's living good now, and he can't believe it. He was also whenever he found out that Tetris helps people's brain work better, like they can organize better, it just seemed to help out brain function. That he said that was like the best thing that ever happened to him, finding out that about his game. It was worth more than all the money in the world. Jeremy, glad he doesn't know his booze yet. All right, we're on a public forum. I'm not going to say some things. Yeah. All right, Jeremy Cook. A favorite Game Boy game for me was Motocross Maniacs. That was fun. I enjoyed Tetris, of course, and Super Mario Land 2. Search for the 6 golden coins. That was where you first met Wario. And Wario is Mario's, I guess evil clone.
Ego.
Like his Nega Duck to his Darkwing Duck. But, yeah. Good old Wario. They never thought he'd become as popular as he did, I think. And Tiffany Slavinsky Edmonds. Hey, Tiff, how's it going? Glad you're here. Oh, yes. Jason Gomot. Tenjin Bastards. Mm-hmm. There's, do I even have any of those? I might. I don't think I have any Tenjin games. Surprisingly.
Put more weight on there.
Oh, no, wait. I do have one. Look at that. Okay, now we all know what a regular D&D game looks like. Or D&D game, son of a bee. I'm looking at D&D stuff too in my head. A regular Nintendo game. This beautiful gray piece of machinery here. It even has that beautiful thing right there. Let me get on the camera right. Nintendo seal of approval. Well, Nintendo tried, but there was a lot of companies that still made unlicensed games for the Nintendo. Tenjin is probably our most notable person or beings that have done that. They made Gauntlet. This is not a licensed Nintendo game, but still plays in my Nintendo. They did Gauntlet. I think they did a few baseball games. They did Tetris. They did a lot. Oh, yes. I was going to bring them up just now. And Wisdom Tree. Wisdom Tree was a game company. I know I have one of theirs up there. That's one of the black ones. I don't have any of their baby blue ones.
That's Pac-Man.
Yeah. Tenjin did Pac-Man as well. I miss Pac-Man. My gosh, I got more Tenjin games than I thought.
That's Pac-Man.
I got doubles of Miss Pac-Man if anyone wants one. There we go. That's not a Wisdom Tree. No, that's American Video Entertainment. Check out that other black one right there by Gyromite. Oh, that was a fake. Thought I had one. Oh, well. Anyway, Wisdom Tree was a company. I can't think of their actual original name, but they changed their name and took some of the games they made under their old label and switched them over and made them Christian games. And then illegally sold them on the Nintendo. And some of them were these baby blue cartridges, and some of them were black ones, but none of them were the gray, standard.
Not the one to, kind of like yank the religion, but ew.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, I think. It's like, oh, thou shalt not steal, but thou shalt go ahead and just put games on whatever you want. Yeah, they were not that good at games. They really weren't. But Nintendo started cracking down on retailers, though, that would sell those games. If they found out you had Tenjin, Wisdom Tree, or anything that was unlicensed by Nintendo, Nintendo would not send them their licensed product. So, yeah, they might have, Noah's Ark was one of them. They might have Noah's Ark, but they're not going to have Mega Man. And I'm sorry, Mega Man is a way better game than Noah's Ark. It was.
I have.
Yes.
Mega Man is really good. It's just
It's really hard. Oh, Gomon even agrees. Yeah, those games were not good. Yeah, if I ever get any of those, I will definitely upload some gameplay of them. But I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. They're not good.
if I play them,
Torture yourself,
I'm not a masochist.
to get it out there. Why
Well,
play?
Not that type of masochist.
Why play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
I'm that type of masochist now. I want to play that game.
That game is horrible.
I've seen Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. No, I don't want to play that. No.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, and see, that's another thing Nintendo did. And that one did have a Nintendo seal of approval on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But I reiterate, it was not good. So we've gone on for a little over an hour. If everyone still wants to talk about video game stuff, let me know in the comments. Tell us. Oh, well, we definitely got to continue talking because my friend Ted Davies is here. A very good artist and who is also a pretty good story writer. Yeah, right there, buddy?
I hurt my back. I've been popping it.
You pop it too much?
Yeah.
You're all right, son.
I have a problem.
Oh, best and worst product tie-in game. Well, there was the Yo Noid on the NES. Yeah, that was not a good one. Product tie-in. Gosh, I don't know about a good one. They didn't seem to want to do those very good. And Jason says, it's not like so bad it's good, just bad. Right. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Based on the story of, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The gameplay, you start off as Dr. Jekyll. You are heading to your wedding. And everyone in town must be mad at Dr. Jekyll for something. Yeah. Like everyone attacks him. He's got...
Well, I've seen Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah, the Angry Video Game Nerd. He does a lot of stuff with it. It's hilarious. They have people throwing bombs at him. Spiders are mad at him. Birds are pooping human-looking poop on him. Yeah. I mean, it's just, everyone hates him. Whenever you lose health as Jekyll, you turn into Hyde. And whenever I first played it, I got knocked down pretty quickly on it. It's not an easy game. You can't hit anyone with Jekyll. You have a cane that he will poke out like this. I think you hit a bee with it and that's all you can do? You can't hit anything else with it.
You know what? He's too nice.
That's right. He is too nice of a guy.
Even though he's being beaten up by everyone in the town.
I'm not going to hurt you. Oh, hey, I'm just going to get to my wife. My wife to be. Oh, you stabbed me. All right, I'll continue on. But then if he changes to Hyde, he goes, he would go left to right. Well, granted, maybe on the picture it's showing me go from the other way. But anyway, he go left to right. When he turns to Hyde, he goes the other way. And fights creatures then. It feels like a video game because you're shooting out a psycho wave, which we all know Hyde had a psycho wave. But if you didn't have the instruction booklet, you wouldn't know down and B to shoot the wave, or else he just punches.
Just guess.
Yeah. But anyway, if you get to a certain point as Hyde, lightning strikes, game over. So you have to collect these power-ups to pretty much cool your temper, turn back into Jekyll, and continue walking. Yeah, if you didn't know that, if you get killed quickly and turn into Hyde and go 2 feet, boom, you're dead. Yeah. That game was something. I think they do a lot of streamers will do just gameplay to see how far they can get and have contests and tournaments for charity. So I mean, that's a good thing that came out of it. And Ted Davies, enjoy your show, guys. Keep gaming. I thank you, sir. We're enjoying it too. Right?
I smell iron, so I was making sure my nose wasn't bleeding. But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
You are so excited. You're getting nosebleeds. Oh my gosh. It's like on Japanese anime. Anyway. Jeremy Cook says the 7-Up spot game was all right. Yep. I think they had that on the Sega Genesis. I remember. I think I even hold that game. Not now, but I used to. They're pretty nifty. So you were just like the mascot from 7-Up with just the spot, wearing your cool shades because the 90s. You jumping platforming, and he would like spin and everything. It was pretty fun. Even Gomon agrees. Spot was solid. Yeah. Spot was solid. Cool spot, bro.
Cool spot?
He was a cool spot.
This is getting confusing.
I love bringing up stuff for the younger crowd, and they're like, what in the world's going on? Ooh, yes. Monster in My Pocket was good. Not Mega Man good, but good in a game I still play and stupid hard. Yes, Jason, I remember playing that game. I rented it so many times from Nintendo's only. Monster in My Pocket was a toy set that, had mini monster figures. You can put them in your pocket, hence Monster in My Pocket. It wasn't pocket monsters like Pokemon over in Japan. It was your universal monsters. You had Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Mummy, all those. Well, for the game Monsters in My Pocket, you could play as different monsters, and you went through like a big little monster going through a big world, kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah. Hashtag Me Too. That's the Me Too movement we have. We all play good games.
Well, I play good games too.
We try. We try to.
Funkin', Osu, Terraria. Terraria's good.
Oh, Lord.
Actually, and Resident Evil games.
Terraria's good.
Okay.
Resident Evil games. I'm raising you on games. I know.
VR chat's good because there's weird people like me on there.
What?
VR chat's good because there's weird people like me on there.
VR chat. Yeah, he's got his Oculus, and he's going to all these different worlds, let me tell you.
Sometimes I think I'm on XSD.
Well, learn to say it before you take it. Jeremy. Nintendo's only. Almost forgot about that wonderful gem in our hometown. I could never forget about Junior Sumner at Nintendo's only. So I got introduced to my first 16-bit game systems. Bits didn't matter, but by golly, we thought they did. Ooh, you're just playing an 8-bit game. I got 16 bits. 16 bits of what? Oh, it's just got 16 bits, so it's twice as good as that, right? After the PlayStation came out, they started saying like 32 bits. No, it wasn't the PlayStation. But side note, we do have Nintendo to thank for the PlayStation.
Now it's frame rates.
Yeah, everyone's all about their frame rates and everything. And I'm like, give me a good story, for crying out loud, okay? If you can make a good story and make the game just run smooth, you don't have to have these crazy graphics. Because Final Fantasy 13
for the PlayStation.
For the PS3.
Looks.
Dude, Final Fantasy 13 was beautiful. One of the most beautiful games I saw for that time. I played it for about a few hours, and I took it back and traded it back in.
So it's bad?
Because it was horrible. Final Fantasy is all about exploration. Going out and figuring out, different things in the world.
It was just story-driven?
Yeah, it was railroaded. I couldn't do anything. And my favorite character, he got back in the group for a minute, then he left immediately, and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not enticed by any of these other characters. Lightning, she was supposed to be this big, awesome woman fighter. Lightning annoyed me. Little kid on there named, I think his name was Hope. He annoyed me. I was like, they need to stop. Jason Gomez says, what is a franchise that currently has no name coming that should? Silent Hill. I want a good Silent Hill game. I almost said movie. I liked the movies.
I heard a Silent Hill already had a game.
Oh, Silent Hill has a lot of games.
Yeah.
But Hideo Kojima and Norman Reedus were working on
PT.
The PT came out. There was a playable teaser. You beat that, and then you get to see.
That's why it's called PT?
Yeah. I could have swore I told you that. Anyway, they brought that out because when you beat it, you get a trailer for Silent Hills that was coming out. And dude, it looked like it was going back to. Oh, it's like he knows me. He knew it. What can I say? Silent Hill, man. That we'll get on more horror stuff in depth on another show, but Silent Hill was one of my favorite games ever. And they were supposed to come out with a new one. But instead, Konami did something stupid, got rid of Hideo Kojima, who made Metal Gear Solid. Actually, he made the whole Metal Gear franchise, which they've made a butt ton of money off of. Silent Hill. I mean, that man has done a lot of things. And Konami's just like, yeah, whatever. We're going to do what we want. Although they did come out with a Silent Hill game after PT came out and after they got rid of Hideo Kojima.
What's it bad?
It was a pachinko game that is in like casinos and bars. It's gambling. Yeah. So they brought out a pachinko game that had, I think, scenes from Silent Hill 3. And it didn't even have like stuff. Well, Silent Hill 3 is good.
So they pretty much used stuff just for a gambling machine.
Yeah, it was. It's like all those freaking gas stations around here. Oh, we got video gaming. No, you don't. You have something to take my money. And I can already give up my money enough on games. I don't need more help. Thank you. Yeah, I was not happy with that. Huh, what game franchise do you think should come out with another one?
Kid Icarus.
More Kid Icarus.
I think the last
I
one's
like
on
that.
the 3DS.
Yep. The last one I know was on the 3DS.
I do. Oof, that would sound
It would be
really
nice. They came out. And, another thing with Nintendo. Speaking of Kid Icarus, I know a lot of people already know where I'm going with this. Oh, don't worry, James. Mr. James Slavinsky. Legacy of Kain will have its own show dedicated to it. Love that freaking game series.
Oh.
What?
Well, you said, like, its own show and then...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But anyway, a cartoon that came out about 33 years ago. Captain N, the Game Master. I want to find it because I want you to watch it.
It's bad.
It is so bad. It is so bad, it's good. Main character, he's playing Nintendo up in his room with his dog. You know, there's the whole like, and then he gets zapped into video game world. So it's called Video Game World. And him and his dog go on adventures with the princess of Video Game Land and Simon Belmont, who instead of the I'm going to beat up a vampire type, he was more like, oh, I'm prissy and I got to take care of my hair. And he was really egotistical. Yeah. That Simon Belmont was horrible. He also hung out with Mega Man, who Mega Man was just mainly strong. They really didn't use a lot of his different. I guess he just had Gutsman's power on all the time.
I don't like that.
And he talked like Mega this and Mega that and Mega. And I kid you not, his voice was like that, like he had smoked a carton of cigarettes. It was bad.
Is it?
Hold on
Supposed to be a robot or a cyborg.
Mega Man sounds mega dumb. I was so mad that he was the worst character. And they're all on YouTube. We're gonna have to watch them. And Kid Icarus was on there.
Please don't tell me they ruined it like butchered it.
I don't think they butchered a kiss. But yes, they did a kiss. I wasn't the one that came up with that. The people that made the show never played a game. I swear. Literally, never played a game. They didn't know how the characters acted or anything. Yeah, it was bad. The main villains were Mother Brain from Metroid. I think Samus was in one episode.
One.
Yeah. The Eggplant Wizard from Kid Icarus. So they had one of their villains in there. And King Hippo from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Yeah. Those were the three main villains.
And a boxer, really bad.
King Hippo was kind of like Rocksteady and Bebop all rolled into one, but not as smart. Yeah. It was bad. Kid Icarus was from New York. He had to have been.
No, New Yorker Kid Icarus.
But Jason also says, pretty much every Konami franchise is on my list. Castlevania, Silent Hill, Contra, yes. I know they came out with a Contra game recently, but that wasn't a Contra game. That's fair.
So they made Pitt a New Yorker.
I mean, the guy, I guess, that played the voice had couldn't get his New York accent out really. So yeah, we'll watch him. Oh,
Please
and
don't
also,
tell me he has a beard.
He doesn't. Captain N had the Nintendo Zapper, so he would shoot monsters with that. And he had a belt buckle that was the Nintendo controller. He could press A to do high jumps, or press like left and right and move real fast to one side or the other. So that was cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Actually cool.
That was pretty cool. I'll give it that. But yeah, those. Oh my gosh.
Didn't you used to have something like that with a Nintendo controller?
I used to have a belt buckle that was a Nintendo controller. I don't know where it is. It's gone, and dude. Every time, how many times have we moved? There's no telling how much stuff I've lost. I don't have anywhere near the comics. Well, no, I do have more comics than I used to have because I've been picking them up lately. But you know. Oh yes, yes. Please say this a bit louder for the people in the back. Metroid Dread proved that side scrollers can be good. Do it, Konami.
Metroid Dread is so good.
Yes. I understand that they want to do like the 3D open world environment because Grand Theft Auto and everything made that open world environment very popular, and it is fun, but not on everything.
They made a new Metroid Dread. It's so skyscroller and super fun and terrifying.
Dude, those Emmy freaking robots come out after you, you know you're screwed.
It's like, okay, I think I'm going to sneak by it.
And Metroid, I mean, that was pretty much based on movies like Alien and Aliens. Because the first Alien movie, Ripley's going around the ship, trying to get away from the alien, and it's a nice sci-fi horror game, or movie. The games, not so much, except for Isolation. Alien Isolation was a good horror game.
I hate, like, okay, I'm going to go to this door. Don't throw! Walker! It scares me.
Seriously, I'm going to have to get him streaming playing a horror game. I love it. How loud do you scream when I usually scare you? Pretty loud, huh? You have to do it right now. You have to do it right now. I'll get you. And I will upload it. I will upload it, guys. Don't worry. I will make sure that I scare the pee out of him. Should have got a hail pill.
What?
Quick backstory. My friend Amy Hill, who's another author that has some amazing books, trust me. If you like anything, like good reading, go look her up. She was on a show with Brian K. Morris. Another guy, go look him up. Great books. One of his is going to be in that book of mine about video games, so Santa's fine. It's going to be funny, trust me. Anyway, she had to, during a show, she had to go use the bathroom. So we made fun of her about it because we're horrible people.
Oh, you make fun of her better now. You make fun of me now.
Go make fun of yourself.
No, you make fun of me.
I love him. But anyway, yes. Nintendo, I believe, is going to stay around for a good long time. I had friends who, when the whole PlayStation versus Xbox was going on, they would say Nintendo should give it up and put their games out on PlayStation and Xbox. And I'm like, I don't want Legend of Zelda on Xbox at all. I'm sorry. It might be horrible of me, but I know they would try to put multiplayer and everything on Zelda, and Zelda is not a multiplayer game. Or probably try to turn it into Dark Souls or Elden, whatever it's called.
Hey, Four Swords was good, okay?
Four Swords was fun, but, you know, they don't all have to be multiplayer. Am I wrong? Jeremy says, good, he's gone. Now we can talk about him. Let me get that off there. Nope, he didn't say anything like that.
I can still see it.
Well, don't look at the screen.
It's too late now.
Oh, shoot. Cookie busted. He got busted. That's all right. He already knows that if I'm going to say anything, about him, I'd say it to his face.
Like what?
It's a family show, son. I can't curse on here.
This is not a family show.
Ish. Family-ish show. Can't curse on here.
You can come up with some insult that are not curse words.
No, if I tell you what my nickname for you is, then you know.
Well, okay, that we cannot say. But, like,
He's my little MFer. I love him.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Here we go. I'll get you in here a little bit more. All right. Now it's not just my face all over. No one wants to see me all the time. You know.
Yeah, no, they don't.
I don't even want to see me. Why do you think I'm not looking in the screen as much as possible?
I'm feeling confident today.
That's good. Proud of you. Well, like I said, I think Nintendo's going to be here for a good long time. PlayStation, Xbox, they're going to be around for a good while too. Don't get me wrong, they've cemented themselves in. But PlayStation wouldn't be here without Nintendo. Sony and Nintendo had that partnership. They were going to come out with a disc-based game system.
Really?
Yep. And Nintendo decided, nah, we want to keep with the cartridges. So they made the N64, which is an awesome system. A lot of people don't respect that system. It's different, don't get me wrong. The controller's messed up. But
Super Mario 64. Yeah. And I love that one.
Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask,
I hate
Conker's
Majora's
Bad Fur
Masks.
Day, Mario Kart, Mario Party. Oh my gosh, I can go on and on.
I hate Majora's Masks and like in 64 because you got less spaces on the whole bar. Got less space useless.
Okay, what? What little bars?
Like
You having a stroke, bud?
Yeah. That helped. Dying.
But yeah, N64 had a lot of great games. GameCube, people will talk about GameCube as well.
I love GameCube. Where's that thing?
GameCube, you took it back in, right?
You took it back in.
But yeah, they finally went to disc-based games. Oh, it's right there. Granted, they are a lot smaller than other games.
No, I was supposed to take the box in. I didn't.
Oh. I don't know if the GameCube's still in that box or not.
No, it's not.
I got things all over the place, bro.
Donavin, crazy.
And of course, I got stuff for Legend of Zelda for the GameCube. What can I say? I am a fanatic for Legend of Zelda. What do you say? That wasn't even like a Courtney Miller level at all, so you need to apologize for that one.
Most of it was acid reflex.
But alrighty, we've been going on for about an hour and a half. I think we're going ahead and end it on here. Well, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out tonight, hanging out with us. And one more comment here. Fantastic games, horribly difficult to keep in good shape disc. Hence the reason they don't come out of the box unless I'm playing them. Yeah. I did have a... Oh, go ahead.
I used to have a problem with leaving discs out. And then you're like,
Yeah.
Don't you dare do that. I will kill you.
That was one of the first things I taught you as a baby when you were playing like the 360 or something like that.
And I did really well.
I told him, I was like, son, make a C with your fingers. Just make a C. All right. Now, it was like, cool. Now hold it like this. Put the C in. Look at that. There you go. Spider-Man 2 for the PS2, by the way. And I was like, now put it back in the case. I'll just leave it lying on the ground. He got better.
It was on the... No.
That's
I take it back.
probably my biggest grief with going over to discs was the scratching and whatnot. Yeah. Cartridges. I ain't scratching it. I ain't good. There we go. It's going to play now. Maybe. As long as the connectors aren't bad. But anyway, as I said, Midwestern goodbye. Not going to last for as long as it, usually does. But thanks everyone for hanging out with us, talking about Nintendo. in their little journey, almost taking over the world, which they did. Mario was everywhere. Clothes, shows, games. Dude, I'm going to punch you as hard as I can right now. I mean, they even had ice cream bars. Mario ice cream bars. Cereal.
I don't have it now.
Wow. But yeah, Nintendo had everything. They've calmed down in recent years. But it's all right. We still love them. Deuces, man. Another good show. I thank you so much, Gomont. You have yourself a really good evening, my friend. And everyone, if you would, if you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching on my author page, like, share that page out and get the word out for me. If you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're not watching on YouTube, go to YouTube and you can look up R&D Gaming. We should be the first thing that pops up, surprisingly. But I'm cool with that. Like and subscribe to my YouTube. Oh, loving the trim? Well, thank you. I decided, yeah, I might as well get it cut a little bit. What are you doing?
I'm the new you.
No, you're not the new me. I don't wear my hats forward. Weirdo. Your hair is making it difficult. But anyway, like and subscribe on my YouTube page. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff on there once we get, the stuff to do it with. My goal with this, between this and my writing and streaming and everything, I want to get to where I don't have to worry about the 9 to 5 anymore. I want to be able to stay home with my kids, hang out with them, do more things.
I slid off the stool.
Be my own boss. So right now I'm tired of taking orders from everyone else.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Nothing.
Okay. I'm also going to start putting together some Warhammer figures. Maybe we can do some paint tutorials with those.
Necrons are superior.
Oh, shoot. These are Necrons, the Terminator looking guys. Yeah. That's his army of choice. Actually, I will be painting this one, which has 20 different figures. And I will be at the Heroes for Kids Comic Con in Perryville, Missouri on July 16th. I'm hoping to have those done and with me. So if anyone's wanting to get into Warhammer, I will sell this to you for a good price.
You might not want to, though, because it's expensive.
Shh. Warhammer is expensive
At
to get
least
into, but it's so much
fair
great.
warning.
And got a big haircut since last week. Yes, I did, Jason. I thought, cut it off. I want to try to do some open interviews tomorrow. I'm not having fun at where I am now, work-wise.
I'm growing mine out again.
For now.
Yeah.
And Jason says, your paint work is sick. I thank you, sir. I thank you. There will be more to show. I got an airbrush. I got to learn how to do that. Maybe I'll do some videos and you guys can come along with me on that journey of me screwing it up real bad. And then getting good. Right? It's like they say in the games, multiplayer games, where you get kicked, your butt kicked. They're just like, get good, scrub.
And then I cry.
And then I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have 20 hours a day to spend on this game. But alas, everyone have a great night. Take care, stay creative, and keep gaming. Until next week. Oh, next week. Yes, our show then. Granted, I don't have a book up here with me on it. But role-playing games. Not necessarily the Smurfle role-playing game, but I think we're going to talk about the biggest, well-known role-playing game, Dungeons and Dragons. So, if you're into some tabletop role-playing games, tune in next week.
Dragonborn's the best.
We will talk about races all the way up to the Dragonborn. We'll go up to the 5th edition.
I love Dragonborn. Dragons.
Oh, boy. I got a dragon fanatic here. He worries me. I love you, son. All right, guys. Everyone have a good night. Stay creative and game on.